Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a book review on Signal to Noise by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This is a pretty new release. It came out in February of 2015 from an indie press, so I haven't seen a lot of people really talk about this book. But I heard about it from Book Riot and I decided to get it from the library and I completely loved it. This book takes place in Mexico City during two times. You jump back and forth between Mexico City in 1988 and Mexico City in 2009. The main character is this girl named Meche, I believe is how you're supposed to say her name. Her full name is Mercedes, but her nickname is Meche. She is just an unpopular girl in high school. She's really obsessed with music and mixtapes. She has two really good friends, Sebastian and Daniela. They are also very uncool kids. Sebastian is really obsessed with books and literature. Daniela is just kind of like a typical girly girl. She's really interested in like her Easy Bake Oven and pop music and celebrities, things like that. So the three of them kind of just hang out with each other, being uncool. And then one day Meche realizes that she has the ability to cast spells and to do magic, particularly using music and records as a way to help her sort of create the energy or create the spells themselves. So she enlists Sebastian and Daniela to sort of help her because, you know, they're strength in threes when it comes to witchcraft and magic. But each chapter sort of jumps back and forth. So one chapter will be in 1988 and another chapter will be in 2009. And in 2009, Meche has returned to Mexico City. She's now living in Europe working as a computer programmer or working something in computers. And she returns to Mexico City because her father has passed away and she comes back for the funeral. And it turns out that Sebastian and Daniela are no longer friends. Something happened in 1989 that just completely ended their friendship. So Meche returns home and is forced to sort of confront her family as well as her past and her friends and the things that have happened. This book was so good and so engaging. I really like the writing style of this book because I feel like she does a really good job of capturing the voice that is being a teenager, whether you're super stubborn or super emotional. Meche is a completely frustrating main character. She's extremely stubborn. She always thinks that she knows the right answer or that the way that she thinks is right or her opinions are all correct, which can be really frustrating but also felt extremely real. And it's something that you see in her in the past as well as in the present, and you kind of see how things have changed and how the events of the past sort of influenced how she is in the present. The magic in here is something that's explained as being very real and very much a part of the world, but it's just that it's one of those things that you don't really know about unless you're aware of it or your eyes are open to it or you realize what's happening. So this isn't really like a fantasy book, although it has those like magical elements to it. I would say it feels more like a contemporary read or just like a young adult book or a fiction book with like these slight magic elements added onto it. Also, I feel like this book really appealed to me just because I really like music, so I like the references that they were making in here, even though I didn't know all of the artists that were mentioned. This book reminded me a lot of High Fidelity in that sense, in the fact that you recognize bands and you recognize artists that they're talking about, but you don't necessarily have the deep knowledge that these characters do. I feel like this book would be like High Fidelity plus The Magicians. You have all of these pop culture references and all these musical references, and music plays such an integral part of these characters' lives and the storyline, but you also have this magical element and you also have these theoretically unlikable characters that you end up sort of liking and caring about towards by the end of the book. This book also talks a lot about complicated family relationships. I feel like there's so much that happens in this book, but this book is like less than 300 pages long, but the author covers so much in here and there's so much emotion and just, oh, I loved it so much. I feel like the only thing I didn't like about it was that it wasn't long enough. I would have loved to have had this been like another 100 pages and have it like developed a little bit more or have the plot drawn out a little bit more just so I can see more of these characters, because I would 100% read more about these characters and this world and this story. So yeah, if you follow me on Goodreads, you know that I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I just loved it so much. If you're someone who likes coming of age stories, this is definitely one worth picking up. It's more about these characters and them growing up and sort of learning what real life is really like and the consequences of actions, and oh, it's so good. I love it. Read this book, you guys. Give it a try. So yeah, that was me just gushing over Signal to Noise. I don't even know if I can call that a review because I felt like I was just gushing for the entire time. If you've read this book, feel free to leave a comment down below. It's very unlikely that I'm going to find people who have read this book because I think there's only like one other person on my Goodreads who has read the book, and I think there's only like 2 or 3 other people who have added it to their to-read list. So this is me trying to raise awareness for this book because this is the best book that I've read this year so far. I loved it so much. But yeah, if you have read this book, feel free to leave a comment down below, or if you have any questions about the book, feel free to leave that down in the comment section as well. Yeah, I got this from my local library, so I'll definitely be buying a copy relatively soon to add to my collection. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.